Some prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 50 to 80 to 90%. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries. To accelerate these price restrictions and reductions, my administration will also cut out the middlemen. We're going to cut out the middlemen and facilitate the direct sale of drugs at the most favored nation price directly to the American citizen.
The order calls on the health department led by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to broker new price tags for some drugs over the next month. But if deals are not reached, Kennedy will have to develop a new rule that lowers U.S. drug prices so that they match the cost of other countries. Now, this order does not specify which drugs will be targeted, but a similar Trump 2020 policy included drugs administered under Medicare Part B, which covers inpatient drugs for seniors. But this EO appears to have a broader scope, referencing American patients and public and private payers. But is the order more about leverage than policymaking? And how will it impact Big Pharma and the industry's ability to do business? Will legal challenges get in the way? Here to help answer those questions is former White House COVID response coordinator, Dr. Deborah Birx. Dr. Birx, always great having you with us on American Agenda. Right out of the gate, one of the first things I thought was this could be wonderful for the American public, for people to be able to afford their medications. The second thing I thought, and full disclosure, my husband works in the biotech industry, I thought, what's going to happen to research and clinical trials? Because those can be extraordinarily expensive. Set us straight.
Well, thank you. And thank you for taking on this topic, because it is quite complicated. And that's why a lot of people don't talk about it. But it's so essential to the American people, because as you stated, everyone knows someone who has needed a breakthrough drug to save their lives, either their parents or their brothers or their sisters or themselves. And so the U.S. has really been the engine behind these breakthroughs, which have then gone to biotech and pharma to actually manufacture, do the critical clinical trials that you just referred to, which cost really hundreds of millions of dollars for these new cutting edge products. And most importantly, develop a way to manufacture them successfully, which was a lot of engineering and a lot of thought goes into that. And I think they're tackling this in a comprehensive way. Remember, the early executive orders were about onshoring, because what he's described and what the Trump administration has described is we've been giving away our technology secrets by offshoring this critical manufacturing, which needs to be re-onshored, and then ensuring that our Americans have access and aren't paying more than other high-income countries.
Dr. Birx, if the pharmaceutical industry does ultimately take a hit financially, would that potentially curb innovations and getting through some of those incredibly important breakthrough drugs?
I think it's a critical point that you raise, but I'm hoping that this is a negotiation where they can come forward and say, for the national security and protection of American health, we need to onshore as pharmaceutical groups, because we've got to stop giving away our technology to really foreign state actors that may not have the best interests of Americans at heart. And so I think it's a negotiation now of how do we onshore and protect our technology, and how do we not subsidize other countries to use our drugs in a cheaper way. So it has to go both ways. High-income countries need to pay more, and the Americans need to pay less. But I think this is a part of a comprehensive approach that really looks at the national security of our medicines and our devices that are saving our lives every day.
Dr. Birx, how long do you think it will take for these lower prices to make their ways to Americans? I know everyone's hoping. How about next week?
Well, I'm hoping it's part of the whole tariff negotiations that we can really push through, because these are high-income countries. We're talking about Europe. So why do we pay more than Europe? We shouldn't. But at the same time, we need to onshore our critical manufacturing of these breakthrough drugs. And I think they can be done in parallel. I think part of it is really explaining to the American people how important our research development engine is to our own health and to the health of others, and make sure that everyone is paying their fair share, including high-income countries overseas.